Hi, I'm Ginger. I live in Las Vegas with my Vegas babies. My Vegas babies are my 6 desert tortoises, and today I'm going to share the fun tortoise shell facts with you. All right, so tortoise shell facts. First thing about, and I'm speaking to the Mojave and desert tortoises, and I am not a doctor, but I have a lot of facts and information that I've picked up along the way that I would like to share with you. So the first thing is that the desert tortoise has, the tortoises have 2 skeletal systems, of the one that's internal, and then the second skeletal system is their shell. The shell is a skeleton that does have nerves, and the nerves do lead back to their central nervous system. The shells are made of a substance that's very similar to our fingernails, like the keratin. So they can feel in their shells, and that's something that surprises a lot of people. They don't realize that that they have feeling in them. So they do. All tortoises have 13 scutes. Every single desert tortoise, actually every single tortoise and turtle, they have 13 scutes. So and what happens as the scutes are growing on the desert tortoises, they get the little white thread things between them. And so that's normal. If you notice that in your tortoises, don't worry about it. It just means they're growing. So that's a healthy thing. My desert tortoise, my older guy, that's about, I don't know, he's somewhere between 50 and 80. I got him 30 years ago and he was a mature tortoise. Love him. And he, his top scutes kind of indent, and they kind of look like they're a little damaged. And so, you know, the scutes will tell you a lot about the tortoise and their health. And so, unfortunately for him, I think he had a little bit of a rough childhood, but he's in a good place now, and he seems to be very happy. The average size of a tortoise is 9 to 15 inches. And when we measure a tortoise, you measure from the end of their shell all the way up and over to the front of the shell. That's how a tortoise is measured. So, all of our tortoises, the desert tortoise is considered a medium-sized tortoise, and all of our tortoises, even within the desert tortoise family, the Mojave and Sonora, they can range different in size. Littlefoot, at 2 years old, he was measuring 10 inches, which is huge, from the one end of the shell to the other. As opposed to the other ones, they're all different sizes. And my baby hatchling she's super strong, but she's super small. She's just not growing very much in size. So they're just all different, just as we are. And the shells can be used to determine gender. That's always something that that we want to look at in their determining their gender, which always happens about 5 years old, that you can determine the gender. And number one, the male has that horn underneath his chin that grows longer, and you'll see that, and that's so that they can fight for their females. The underneath side of their shells is going to be, you're going to look at that, because on the female, she'll be flatter on her underside, and the males will have a little concave on their underside, so that they can mount the females for breeding. So that is the difference in the shells. Other than that, sometimes the males are smaller and the females are bigger, so that they can carry the eggs, and they can have more the space for the eggs. However, I have Charlie is 14 inches plus, and he's a male. And then my Littlefoot, he's a male and he's big, so the males can be big also. They can absorb water through their shells. A lot of people don't realize that. So tortoises can absorb water through their shells. They absorb it through their skin, and then they drink it as well. So that's how they get their water. And then their shells are completely hardened by age 5. So they have super soft shells as hatchlings, and you have to be really careful with those super soft shells. They get harder through the UV rays and the sun, and so you want to provide that, whether it's outdoor sun or inside. The UV bulbs are what I use for the hatchlings, and their shells all got nice and pretty and hard. And then you have to be careful, because if you do want them to have the outdoor sun, you're going to have to protect them with some kind of a net or something, so that the predators don't get them. Birds commonly get little hatchlings. Another interesting fact about their shells is they have little ridges on them, and that are supposed to determine their age. But I've noticed on Charlie, because he's so old, I can't count all the rings. So it's kind of like counting the rings of a tree to see how old it is. You count the ridges on their scutes to see how old they are. That's it on their shells. So I hope you enjoyed this shell section of my Tortoise Facts. Thank you for watching.